serious.
Jim Barrett, who is a professional now, working in Hollywood for NBC. Martin Cutler, who is a filmmaker, were both two graduates of our program, yet they agreed to accompany us on this whole experience and help document this for us. Also at the time, one of our former students, Paul Sloan, who had graduated from this program, was teaching on our faculty at the time, and he was in charge of much of the documentation.
This is Paul.
This is Paul Sloan. Yes. Bye. Thank you.
I just remember first getting to the apartments. Where I stayed, all the apartments were very close together. They all looked the same.
His mother answered the door. She was really nice.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Oh, good English.
She spoke English almost perfectly.
Here's your room.
Nice.
We would say, you know, well, I feel sorry for them having to live in just a few rooms, but they love it. They enjoy it.
I was just like, okay, well, great, they have a dog. Then the dog seemed to attack him. The dog almost bit him, and I was just like, oh my God. His face turned white.
It was very hard for me to communicate with the Americans who stayed in my home. The main problem, of course, was language.
No Russian. No Russian. Just food. What's food? Food is everything to eat. You like best of home? No.
I don't know how we learned to understand each other, but it was great trying.
Andre says, are you guys hungry? And this is 4:30 in the morning again. So we're thinking, well, no, really, we're not hungry. He goes, okay. And he brings us food.
Our first Russian meal.
Josh was really kind of fearful of what was on his plate. And I got some good shots of Josh, who was just getting ready to take that first bite.
When we got up that morning, I had no idea how hard it was going to be to get to school. I thought it was going to be just like here it was at Germantown High School, where you get in your car and go. And then after the bus, we went to the subway.
The metro ride was a really good opportunity for us to talk.
This is Olga. She's my roommate.
Rode that for 3 or 4 stops, so it was quite a long ride.
It takes about 20 minutes for one sentence, but when you finally get it across, yay! And you're both going, yay!
And then we walked from the subway to another bus stop, and then from another bus stop to the film school. So it was a very long, hard journey every single morning just to get to school.
We had this session in the morning when we went around the room, and Alivana and Sergey asked that everybody stand up and just say a little bit about themselves and what it was they wanted out of the trip.
I could tell what students were excited that we were there and which ones were uneasy that we were there and the ones that really didn't care.
Hello, my name is Paul. Sean said, I'm Sean. And it was like, after that I felt that I know him like for years.
They aren't afraid to show any emotion at all.
When I stood up to introduce myself, I felt like I was talking to my friends.
For the theater, I am performing in both of the shows that you'll be seeing, and for the television, I'll be reporting. We'll be sending reports back to America.
My name's Josh. I wanted to be real sophisticated to the Russians and know what I was talking about, and I was afraid that if I said Russian and I messed it up, then they would just lose respect for me.
And there were 100 of us in the room, 60 Americans and 40 Russians, and it took a long time.
About half a year I left the school, but I kept my warm relationships with the school, and I'm always happy to help.
Almost all of the Moscow students said, "Hello, my name is," in English.
In the situation in which people don't speak one language.
I felt so guilty that we had not learned more Russian.
Like your Paul, I finished Germantown a couple years ago, and I was fortunate enough to come back and be here.
I was like, what am I going to say when I stand up? You know, it's always awkward when you have to stand up and talk about yourself. I realized that everybody was speaking in English. You know, I can at least say, my name is. Thought for sure someone would do it before I did.
Finally, out of nowhere,
I got all ready for it, and then...
all the tension was totally broken at that point, and there seemed to be an immediate connection. I would say that's where the trip started.
I still said it, but it wasn't the same as it was the reaction that he got.
Being in the center of Moscow is how it seemed to me.
It was huge.
I just felt like nothing compared to all the stuff that was around me.
I was really glad that I got to see that and go through the Kremlin and see all of the churches.
The Soviet will overtake America and then wave bye-bye.
When one thinks of Russia, they think of Red Square.
All these things that you've seen in pictures your entire life, just right there.
They are the focus of evil in the modern world.
You know, not just anybody gets to go over there and stand in Red Square and have this kind of experience you're having.
It sometimes doesn't seem real. It's hard to be all of a sudden sensitive to something that has been so desensitized your entire life.
It's kind of an unfair comparison that they have these thousands of years of history and we have 200.
You grow up hearing that this place and these people, that they're your enemy, but it's not like that at all.